The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studio offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the next best thing to rock, the next rock god. He's out of Norway, now based in Los Angeles. He's got an album called Firestorm by Allied Artists Music Group, and very interesting story about how he came about. He's got a TV show called Rocky Kramer Rock and Roll Tuesdays on Twitch, and also voted Best New Male Rock Musician by Rock Over America magazine. And his mom and dad come from a very, very unique backgrounds as well, too. And live, ladies and gentlemen, as the next Viking rocker emerges, ladies and gentlemen, live from Los Angeles, the next best thing, Rocky Kramer. Rocky, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you on as well, too. So you're born and raised in Norway in the Peninsula area. You have a new album called Firestorm, which is by Allied Artists Music Group. You have a TV show, which is really cool, called Rocky Kramer Rock and Roll Tuesdays on Twitch. And your dad and mom also, you were pretty much in a symphony as well, too. You wrote your first album at 13. And before we get into all that, tell us how you first got started.
Well, I like you said, I come from a musical family, so I was always doing some kind of music ever since I could walk. I think I learned how to walk and play a piano at the same time. Because we had two pianos in the house, because my mom was a piano teacher, and my dad, who is a professional violinist, also had the piano because that was like his second instrument. So when they moved in together, they decided to keep both pianos. So there were two pianos in the house, so you couldn't avoid hearing the pianos. And the first, when my mom passed away when I was 5, and my dad wanted his two children. I have a bigger brother. He wanted his kids to play an instrument. So I ended up playing the violin. My brother ended up playing piano. And I was, 5 years old when this happened. So we were doing that, and then at the same time, my brother wanted to play guitar. I wanted to play drums, so we were kind of had a little band together, playing for our not for our kindergarten, but for our babysitter. I'm mixing up words, and we were just having fun with it. And like my brother was writing songs, like at 7 years old. So all of that inspired me to do the same thing myself. So I picked up the guitar the first time when I was 8, and then when I was 11, I actually really picked it up and started playing. At 8, I kind of gave up on it. It was, I guess I was not ready for the challenge yet. But at 11, I said, you know what, I'm really going to do this. And I picked up the guitar, which was actually his guitar, and I was playing guitar every day until I knew how to play. And then at 13, I bought my own guitar, which was an electric guitar, which obviously was a big deal to me. Not a big deal to my dad, who didn't want me to play guitar, and I bought it without telling him.
Oh, so you did it behind his back, huh?
Yeah.
So my kids would have done the same thing. Later I can say, good job. So
yeah, I saved up allowance for like a couple of years, so I felt like it was a big achievement.
Mhm.
But it was just I just loved rock and roll, and it was really fun for me to be in a band from an early age. I think my first band was when I was 11, but it didn't really work out. So the first like real band was when I was 12, and it was just me and a couple of friends, and we. I always wanted to write my own music, so all the bands I was in, we never did covers, we never did other people's songs. It was always my songs or songs we kind of wrote together. But I was just always really into songwriting, so we were just playing my songs. And keep in mind, I'm from Norway, so my English, English is my second language, and back then it wasn't super, and so a lot of the lyrics were very basic and very simple, but I just really loved it. It was a lot of fun, and I realized that this is what I wanted to do when I grew up, which I don't know when that is.
It sounds like a lot of fun when it comes to songwriting, and it's basic and simple since English is a second language for you. What do you base your lyrics on?
I think when I look at when I look at my own lyrics, like right now, I realize that I think for the most part I write about stuff going on in my life, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and Firestorm is an album I wrote when I was 16, and I really was just writing about what it's like to be a teenager, dreaming about being a rock star and going through the ups and the downs of being a teenager with dreams,
And what was life like for you living in Norway in terms of the music scene, family life, and just everything as well, too? Mainly about the music life as well, too, and your experiences living in Norway.
Well, Norway is an interesting country. It's first of all, it's shaped a little bit like a guitar. It's very long. It's just coastline. It's just, if you're in the south, you're close to Denmark, you're close to England and Scotland and Sweden, and then obviously it borders with Sweden. But if you go up to the north, the border. If you look across the border, you're going to see Finland. If you keep going, you're going to see Russia. So it's just this long country, so there is a difference between south and north. I grew up in the middle, but not too north. So it was the weather was pretty nice. It wasn't too cold. A lot of people associate Norway with very cold weather and kind of a miserable place. But it was actually, I enjoyed growing up there. I had a really good time. I think it's a wonderful country, and I do think that it's a great place to grow up and kind of figure out what you want to do with your life. I wanted to go here mainly because I wanted to be in the music industry, and that was something that it's not the same as it is here. Like here, the music industry really is a big industry, and everything is, let's get the contracts, let's do this, let's do that, let's bring in the lawyers. Everything is everything's on rails. And in Norway, it's a little bit chaotic, and you never really know what to expect before you do it. And sometimes you just don't get the opportunities that you're looking for. And I was kind of very close to getting those opportunities. It's just, it never worked out. It was always just, it almost didn't work out. And, or I should say it almost worked, but it didn't. And of course that's frustrating because you want to take your career to the next level. So even when I was 15, I just knew that I wanted to move to the United States. And I decided eventually that I should go to LA because that's where first of all, there's a lot of musicians here, a lot of bands started out here, whether you're the Guns N' Roses or the Doors or whatever. But it's also like the weather's nice, and there's a film industry. There's this, it's a very interesting place to be, and it's so different than Norway. Like, we don't have palm trees in Norway, so that was something that was very interesting to me.
I was going to say it'd be a cool change as well too. And who are some of your favorite artists, singers, musicians, and especially guitar players growing up?
So there are plenty of them. Like the first time I ever saw a rock band live was a Norwegian band called TNT, and they're known for 10,000 Lovers in One, which was a big song in the 80s. That was essentially their biggest hit, or perhaps their only hit, if you look at it from a bigger perspective. So that was kind of like one of those big aha moments to me, which Aha is another Norwegian band that is known. I listen to a lot of British music. I listen to the Beatles and Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, that type of stuff. I love the American music. I was a big Kiss fan growing up. That was a big deal to me. And I think that when you're a Kiss fan, the one thing you learn is that when you're on stage, you should put on a show. Like, you can't just be up there looking like you just got out of bed and, you got, shirt, inside out, and you don't know what you're doing. And you forgot to tune your guitar, and you forgot to, brush your teeth or something. Like, I want the show to be something that is not necessarily, overly pretty, or like it's a theater or something. But I just want it to be something that is cool to watch. So we always kind of, I think almost every band I've been in, we always put on a nice shirt, and we try to look nice. Some of the bands I was in, like one band I was in, we would wear makeup like Kiss did, just a little more simplified, and that was just because we wanted to put on a show. And in Norway, that type of makeup, kind of like a war paint look, is associated with the Norwegian black metal scene. So a lot of people thought we were playing black metal, and like, nope, we're just playing 80s rock. That's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So but it was just, that was always fun. There's a lot of guitar players I listened to growing up. A big fan of David Gilmour. I loved Randy Rhoads. Yngwie Malmsteen was a big influence. Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page. You got to listen to the two Jimmys, if you ask me.
The two Jimmys, we're going to remember that. I was going to ask you about your favorite guitars. I think you pretty much covered it as well, too. We'll talk about your album as well, too, and some of your other projects. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. It's powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Check the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with guitarist, musician Rocky Kramer here on the Mike Wagner Show, based out of Norway, now in Los Angeles, and talking about his amazing story and how he got involved, and just a great future ahead as well, too. And he's got an album out called Firestorm by Allied Artists Music Group, also a TV show, Rocky Kramer Rock and Roll, which you can hear on Tuesdays on Twitch. But first of all, you said you wrote an album at the age of 13 and your fourth at 17. So, tell us about your first album, and Fourth album in 17. It's like it's unheard of these days. Amazing.
Yeah, I just loved writing music from the beginning. So when I started playing violin, I never even thought about writing music. But when I played guitar, the first thing I wanted to do was write. And when I was 12, I started writing music on my computer, and that really changed everything because I could write every instrument and everything. So I wrote an album every year from like 13, 14, 15, and 16. The fourth one that was a little bit more like a year and a half, but it was done by the time I was like 17 and a half when I finished it, and that's Firestorm. So it was just something that I loved doing, and it's my way of expressing myself, and it's like a musical diary in a sense. Some people like to put things down with just words or describing their day or something, but I just like to write it down with music and how I feel. And when you're a teenager, you're very emotional and you're very sensitive to things, and I really just try to convert that energy into music instead of just wasting it on other things. And it made a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm. And also as well, too, that you're voted Best New Male Rock Musician from Rock Over America magazine 2012. Tell us more about that and some of your other accolades as well.
Well, coincidentally, the man who gave me that award, Mark Lewis, he just passed away. And,
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
So that was just, I guess, 2 days ago now.
Wow.
And so that's very sad. Rest in peace. He was a believer in me from the beginning. When I first moved here, I got to know him, and he was very excited about me as an artist and a guitarist, and he was very supportive. And one of my first interviews was with Rock Over America magazine, and so he thought that I deserved the best new male rock musician. So that was like a big deal to me. It was kind of like there was so much going on that year. I was getting signed. I was doing all this, trying to get a band, and so it was a very nice moment for me. So
it sounds like it as well too. You also have a TV show called Rocky Kramer Rock and Roll Tuesdays on Twitch, and tell us more about that.
Well, when the whole COVID-19 thing happened and we were all stuck at home, I realized that I wasn't going to be able to tour for a while, wasn't going to be able to do anything in front of people. So I wanted to bring rock and roll to your living room through, from my home, from my home to your home, right? And I like to perform, I like to play guitar, and I like to sing, and I wanted to be able to do that. And I never done it before. And I looked at Twitch, and there were other people doing it on Twitch, and some people do it for a lot of people. So I figured this might be it's a great way not only to play for the people that would like to see me perform, but it's also a great way to develop new fans and get some new listeners. And every Tuesday, there's people there that haven't been there before. That they come from all over the world, generally from like our time zone. So it's either North America or South America for the most part, but. It's just a fun thing. It's called Rock and Roll Tuesdays. It's just me by myself. I play songs, I play guitar, I sing, and just try to entertain people for a couple of hours. And they can suggest songs that they want to hear. And if I know it, I'll do it. And if I barely know it, I might even do it then. So, we try to make it fun. And, it's all I can do right now. For the most part. So
it sounds like fun, and Twitch is mainly used by gamers as well too, and you're playing for the gamers. And are you a gamer yourself since you're on Twitch?
I definitely play video games myself, and I actually have once in a while on like Friday nights or Saturday nights I'll actually stream myself play video games as well. But I do play video games. I play both Xbox and PlayStation, and it's something I enjoy, and that is why I discovered Twitch originally, was just to check out a new game without buying it, because it's a nice way to just, okay, is this something I want to get into, and instead of just buying the game and find out it's not for you. But Twitch, the cool thing about Twitch is that it has a great community, and when you're watching a streamer, you're kind of like you start actually seeing the same people in the chat, and sometimes that is a nice thing, and the people in the chat are almost as important as the person streaming, because it's a community, and it's a fun place to be. And there's generally a lot of positivity on Twitch. I know there's on some people, they have to deal with some negativity, but it's generally a very nice place to be for both gamers and people who don't play games, who maybe just want to see some music. Or there's even a category just called just chatting, if you just want to listen to somebody talk for a little bit, or just want to get to know someone or whatever. You can do that. So it's a fun place.
Just right now as we speak, for example, they can just jump in. Exactly.
That's right. They can just jump in. They can write in the chat, say hello.
There you go. And what are your favorite video games?
It changes, but I would say that games that I've enjoyed a lot over the years have been the Call of Duty series, like first-person shooters, Battlefield, which is generally, sometimes has more of a historical setting. I like games with a good story, or games with maybe that makes you think a little more. And I started with racing games. That was the first thing that got me into actually buying an Xbox 360 about, I guess, 10 years ago. Before that, I wasn't all that into video games, but I think it's a good way to kind of sharpen your brain once in a while, because there are a lot of video games that make it's good for your reaction, and it's good for just thinking about stuff. There's some games there's a game called Portal where you have to think of how to get out of this room by using certain elements, and I think it's good brain exercise, and I like that. I think it's fun.
It sounds like it as well, too. My boys happen to be on Twitch and playing video games as well, too. So I happen to find my sons, Steve and Samuel Wagner, and just say hi, and you can play along as well, too. So you find them on Twitch, and they love it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the video games, I think, it's a good thing. I think it's great.
Yes, it is. We'll talk about your album Firestorm in just a minute, but first listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Check the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with guitarist Rocky Kramer here on the Mike Wagner Show, talking about the new album Firestorm by Allied Artists Music Group. And tell us all more about the album.
Yeah, Firestorm was an album I wrote when I was 16, like I said. And I was writing about, a teenager wanting to be a rock star, which was that was my feeling. It's an hour-long album. There's 14 tracks. And it starts off with just a guitar solo that kind of gets you into the mood, I guess. It's called Invocation. It goes into a song called Rockstar. And Rockstar, so that people don't get it confused, even though I've had discussions with people about this, how clear it is or not, the song is about dreaming about being a rock star, but the lyrics are, I'm a rock star with style, I'm a rock star, with in leather, I'm a rock star, so wild, and so on. But it's a dream, and so I just want to make that clear for the people who haven't heard it. The music video actually depicts it very well. We have an animated character that is like a teenage Rocky, a little Rocky is what is his name, and so that's kind of fun. But the album kind of goes on to a song called Alcohol, which was more about my passion for music. And but also kind of written in a way that it can be interpreted in multiple ways, because if you think about alcohol, as a form of addiction, and you compare it to love, then, you know, if love is alcohol, alcohol is both good, but it can also be bad. It's addictive, but it's also maybe, you know, it could be bad for you. It depends on how you deal with it. Mm-hmm. So the album just kind of goes through all these different parts of different emotions, different feelings. It's a concept album, so it kind of stays on that subject. And so there's a song called Go to Hell, which is more of the angrier side. There's Sick and Tired, that's more about depression and frustration. There's, you know, Can You Feel It is more about apathy. Then The Outsider is more kind of like the attitude that, which Attitude is another song, which I skipped. I'll talk about that one in a sec. But like The Outsider is just kind of at the end of the album, you're just saying like, you know, we're going to do this. And, you know, don't give up. Because in some parts of the album, there's kind of like there's an aspect of hopelessness. And so it's kind of like when you get to the end, you're kind of saying, okay, we're going to do this. But yeah, there's a song called Attitude, which is the heaviest song on the album. And it's also kind of an angry song, but it's a good type of angry, I guess, you know.
And it sounds like it too. And where can people find your album, Firestorm, at?
So Firestorm, we decided to not just release it digitally. It's also on CD, which most people don't buy anymore, but it is on vinyl. And vinyl, people do buy. People like vinyl, so it is available on vinyl. There's a link on my website, rockykramer.com, if you want to check out that. And it's a double vinyl mastered by Bernie Grunman.
Oh, nice. I love vinyl. I've collected those for years, and I'm ready to get back in again. That is fantastic.
Yeah, there's a big community for vinyl, and I guess that's you're either the person that listens to music on your phone or you listen to it on vinyl. So for those people who are into the vinyl, then you can definitely get the album and enjoy it like that, and that might be the best way to listen to it. I'm not sure.
That sounds great as well, too. And just a few more minutes with Rocky Kramer from Norway here on the Mike Wagner Show. A big thank you for your time. Love to have you back on as well, too. Maybe a time you can play live for us. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
That's a good question. I think that early on, my biggest influences were Pink Floyd, and I would say the Beatles. And in terms of performance and actually also as a guitar player, I was a big Kiss fan. I loved seeing Ace Frehley play guitar. I love the melodic aspect of his guitar playing. He doesn't have the best technique, but it was just it's more about expression, and I think that's important. I think that when I started listening to Yngwie Malmsteen, it really changed me. I think it made me a better guitar player, and bringing in that classical influence, which was already present in my music and in my mentality as a player and also as a songwriter. Just hearing somebody really mixing classical music with metal really inspired me it defined me more than before. But there are a lot of people. Jimi Hendrix was a big influence. Steve Vai, who I think has maybe the best technique as a guitar player. Like his technique is really, really great, and also he comes up with great solos. Joe Satriani is awesome, has really great hooks. Like his songs are very catchy, and I think that's important because like all he does is play guitar. There's no vocals. There's no parts of the song where you're not listening to a guitar. So he keeps you interested by just doing what he's doing with his fingers, and I think it's a really important thing to pay attention to when you're writing your own songs, is that you don't want it to get boring, you know what I mean?
Right, and that's an amazing thing as well, too, to keep in mind. And what can we expect from you in 2020 and beyond?
Well, it's a little bit hard to say because of the situation we're in, but we're definitely, if we're not going to go on tour, which we're supposed to do this summer, we're probably not going to go on tour for a while. So we want to go back in the studio and record the next album because we can definitely do that. So we're just kind of waiting for things to kind of normalize a little bit, and that would be it. In the meantime, I'm gonna I've been making covers lately. That's been kind of my coping mechanism, being at home so much. So I'm gonna keep doing that for as long as that makes sense, and then just gonna keep doing stuff on Twitch and try to entertain people any way I can as long as I'm at home.
And that's the best thing too. What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
It depends on where they're at in their career, but if you're young and you want to be in this industry, I think my best advice, even if you don't want to be a singer, I do recommend taking vocal lessons. No matter what you want to do, take vocal lessons, and just in general, just work really hard and make sure people get to see that you worked really hard. That's really important.
It is very important as well, too. Once again, the multi-talented Rocky Kramer here on the Mike Wagner Show from Norway. Rocky, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. And before we go, once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or listen to your music? And where can people check out your program?
Well, you can go to rockykramer.com. There's a lot of links there for my social media. Generally, my social media is just Rocky Kramer, one word. Except Facebook, which is Rocky Kramer Official. My Twitch channel, if you may call it that, is also Rocky Kramer. So it's twitch.tv/Rocky Kramer. Follow me, and you'll get a notification when I go live. But it's every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, if that helps. And music is available everywhere except Spotify, and there's also links on my website if you want to some quick links to that. There's Amazon and a few other ones on my website, but just search whatever you prefer. Just search my name.
That is amazing. Once again, Rocky, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on 2020 and beyond. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you on again.
Hey, thanks for having me.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.